How's it going, guys? I hope everyone's good, everyone's okay. By the way, this is super exciting because today is the first episode of Market Talk that we're doing live. So I hope you guys can hear me clearly. What we're going to do today is I'm just going to do three simple news. I'm not going to do a lot of news because in a day you see that there are so many different news articles that come out with respect to the stock market. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to talk about three news articles where we can take advantage of, right? Or we should know of so we can take advantage of. So I'm not going to do some generic news articles. I'm going to try and find ways where we can try connecting the dots here or there. Got it? Awesome. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the three news articles. I'm going to do a quick review of what's happened in the market today. And then after this session, after this live, okay, I'm going to continue this session and I can interact with all of you guys on my community in Scenes. So if you want to come and chit chat with me and interact with me there, download the app. The link I have pinned it on the comment section. So you can actually click on that, download the app, and then come. We will continue this conversation on the Scenes app for another half an hour. Got it? Awesome. Chalo, let's begin without wasting any more time because we're only going to do three news articles. Now, first things first. Okay, this is sad. I just did this properly. Okay, let's look at money control. Yeah. Let's look at money control. So what's happened today in the market is that Sensex has fallen down 127 points, which was it was mainly because of the global cues. If you looked at in the morning, the SGX Nifty was also down. Most of the global factors also played into this, so Sensex kindly slightly fell down at that point. Nifty went down only by 14 points, so not bigger deal. Nifty Bank actually went down by minus 200 points. So basically Sensex is hovering at 58,177 and Nifty is hovering at 135, 17,355. A lot of people are actually saying that Nifty will do a rally up to 18,000. And after 18,000, Nifty will actually fall down and start correcting itself. So a lot of people are predicting that Nifty is going to do well until 18,000, right? Until 18,000, it shouldn't be an issue. Okay, next. Now, the first news article I want to talk to you guys about is something known as cargo traffic. Now, I don't know how many of you all know this, but we'll see how many of you all can actually connect the dots with respect to this. Now, do you know what cargo traffic is? Let's look at this. The shipping industry. Okay, news number one. We're going to talk about cargo traffic at major port has basically gone up by 11% only in August. And why is that? Right? Why is this happening? Now, look at this. The shipping industry, basically what happened because of COVID. So a lot of factors have come into the shipping industry because of which a lot of freight charges have gone up. Now, if freight charges go up, it is very advantageous for shipping companies. Now, basically there was a report that came out that said 11% rise in shipping traffic happened in the month of August and it will continue rising as well. Why? Because there is a lot of congestion in ports due to the shipping companies, and this is why the shipping companies are getting a lot of benefits because there's so much congestion at ports. Now, why is there so much congestion at ports? Now, this is because you need to understand there are 2-3 things happen at the same time. Now, what are the 2-3 things that happen? One is that the epidemic happened, COVID-19 happened. So in the last 2 years, right, because of the COVID-19 that happened, in the last 2 years, basically the world over, mostly oil tankers were still moving. Right, oil tankers were constantly moving, okay, not consumer things. Now what happened is suddenly because of COVID-19 pandemic, lot of big companies in the shipping space had too much loss and they had highly leveraged themselves, so they had to sell most of their vessels away as well. So when they sold most of the vessels, the supply started reducing because now you couldn't go and start shipping because the number of vessels reduced a lot. Now another problem is all the people who ordered new vessels, okay, all the people who ordered new vessels, apparently they're not going to get delivery until October 2022. So till next year they're not going to get any more, right? So the number of shipping freight vessels are very less, but now the demand is more because of this. And also another element that actually made this more complicated is that when this entire COVID-19 happened, a lot of countries closed their ports, then opened their ports, again closed their ports, again opened their ports. When this happened, there was a lot of ships that was just parked in these ports. In fact, in US there was so many ships at one point just parked in ports and nothing was happening. Global trade wasn't happening from US ports, but other countries that had opened were happening. Now because of this, look at this, right? The country's 12 major ports, which is our country's 12 major ports, handled 51 million tons of cargo in August alone, right? Said the Indian Ports Association. Now, why is this important and why am I telling you this? Look at the 12 important ports, right? We have in Mumbai only, we have Mumbai, JNPD, New Mangalore, Cochin, Chennai, lot of different ports, 12 major ports, and this is where most of the transaction is happening. And if most of the transactions happening here, do you think that the shipping companies will do well? Do you think shipping companies will do well? Maybe the shipping companies might do well. Now, if maybe the shipping companies might do well, then you should be like, Shashank, which are the shipping companies that are going to get affected by this, and how can we take advantage of something similar to this, right? Now, the reason why we can take advantage of this, there are some shipping companies like Shipping Corporation of India, then there are Adani ports which will also benefit slightly from this. Okay, so you can check out Adani ports as well. This is not a buy or sell recommendation. I'm just going to talk about companies that are affected by this, right? Then we have this company as well, CMEC. So this is also gone up today because of this report that's come out. Now, obviously, what's going to happen is if the shipping companies, the freight charges are going up, that means the demand is high. If the demand is high, then these guys are going to make a lot of money. And then there's even another one called Cochin Shipyard, right? So all of these, you can have a look, obviously take your own decision. This is not a buy or sell recommendation. Another important article continued to this is something that came up on FinShots, right? On FinShots, there was this article that came up on 26th August 2021, and it's a free article. You can go read it. It talks about the global shipping crisis and the entire history of what happened because of COVID, right? Because of COVID, what happened? Basically, dozens of ships were remained anchored outside US ports, and they had to wait for days on end to make it inside. So a lot of problems were happening, a lot of extra expenses were going on. So you can take your time and start reading up on all of this. But basically, this is very important for you to understand on connecting the dots element, that there is something happening in the shipping space and the demand is going up too much. So if you guys are smart, somehow take advantage. Okay, that was news number one. Interesting, right? It's something different, not your typical news that someone gave dividend. Now, the second news that I'm going to talk about is about Tata Steel. Now, Tata Steel is ramping up its capacity of scrap recycling plant. Okay, it's ramping up its capacity for scrap recycling plant. Now, what is this scrap recycling plant? Have a look, right? So basically, the steel recycling business, let me zoom in for you guys. The steel recycling business, Tata Steel recently commissioned its first plant located in Haryana, Rohtak, right? And what they're basically doing is they're going to start a branded scrap and an app-driven 24/7 virtual marketplace. And this is one of the first people who are doing something like this in the market, where they're going to actually deal with scrap. So basically, Tata Steel is set up a capacity for scrap recycling. Why? Because they feel that the growth prospects in India is going to be really good. And what they're doing is, look at this, right? The plant has been set up in collaboration with Aarti Green Tech as a build, own, operate BOO partner, and they're planning to do 3 to 4 different facilities in India. So again, this is a very important article. You should definitely read about it, because this basically tells you what is Tata Steel doing with respect to scrap, and mainly why is Tata Steel getting into scrap. Right? These are some important things for us to understand, because if we understand this, then we can know how to take advantage of this and where are they moving in the future, right? Now, look at this. The high quality processed scrap from our unit is supplied to electric arc furnaces, induction furnaces, and foundries for downstream steel making. So they're going to take scrap from other people, process it, make it a highly qualified scrap, and then they're going to start supplying it to other people, and then obviously start increasing their revenues. And they've built one plant for this, and now they're going to build 3 or 4 different plants for this. Now, what does that mean? That means they have done their research and they know that there is something interesting happening here. There is a market for something like this. So if there is a market for something like this, then you should, maybe they're going to take advantage of it, and if they are, then you should take advantage of this, right? So they're gonna do this through an app, and it's called Ferroheart. Okay, this is what the name of the app is. The first of its kind app in the world, and basically it can source steel scrap from traders. It is 24/7 live marketplace. This is what Tata Steel is doing. Quite interesting, right? This you wouldn't know, because it's not something very generically available everywhere. Okay, great. Now the third piece of news, which is slightly common but again very interesting, because after so long, Jet Airways is going to resume domestic flights early next year, and they have started their hiring process, right? I'm just zooming in for you guys. So Jet Airways has finally come back, and they're going to resume the domestic flights, and they've started hiring. So if you don't know, Jet Airways was in debt, right? And then there was this consortium that came, the Jalan Kalrock consortium, that came and took over the operations of Jet Airways, and they bought it at a massive discount. So they're planning the Jet Airways 2.0 launch. They're restarting domestic operations by Q1 2022, which is 1st Jan, Feb, March of, no, actually not even Jan, Feb, March. Q1 2022 is March, April, May, right? So April, May, June side, they're going to start the operations again. So they're building up the entire team, and this is what's going to happen. What they're saying, Jalan is saying that the airline would have a fleet of more than 50 aircraft in 3 years and 100 in 5 years. So basically, they're coming back. They're coming back into the entire space. Now, whether it's good or bad, I don't know. But for all the people who knew about Jet Airways, do you guys know what the stock price is right now and what it was before? Do you guys know what the stock price was for Jet Airways 1 year ago? Look at this. Okay, let me show you something. Jet Airways ka stock price 1 year ago, okay, 1 year ago, exactly 1 year ago, was 27 rupees. In September 14, 2020, 27 rupees. No one was touching it, no one was buying it because obviously there was no future with it. It was 27 rupees and now it is 84 rupees. So it's gone up quite drastically, right? And nobody would have obviously predicted that Jet Airways would do a comeback and someone would actually buy it and then not delist it and continue running it. But this is very interesting to understand that we will again see the blue in the skies again and Jet Airways is coming back. So guys, these were the 3 news articles that I wanted to talk about. These were the 3 news articles I wanted to come and share with you guys. So I hope you guys like it. Now, if you guys want to discuss more about the stock market, if you want to discuss and understand more about when you have any questions related to the stock market. Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay, sorry, I think my OBS crashed. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this session on the Scenes app, right? And if you want to continue the session with me and keep interacting with me, then just click on that link. I've shared it in the chat. So click on the link and we will continue this. I'm going up on stage right now on the Scenes app, so I'm going to see you guys there. Okay, so hope you like this. This was 3 quick news about the market, and let's see what are the 3 unique news that we will see something tomorrow as well. Awesome. So I'm going to see you guys soon. Come join me there. See you guys. This is me, Shashank.